We're in the 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRDPRO. It's rated at 23 miles a gallon. Today we're gonna do a fuel economy test. You guys were very interested in that. I got over 1,000 votes on that. You would rather see a fuel economy test than a night review. So we're gonna do a little fuel economy test. I'm at the gas station right now. We're gonna fill it up. It's got a full tank. Like at least it's indicating full tank. I wanna really fill it up so we know where we are starting from. So let's go ahead and fill up the new I think it's an 18.2 gallon tank on the TRDPRO Tacoma. These Toyota gauges are, well, they take some getting used to. I had to Google how to make sure I get my trip meter on the left side of the screen. As you can see, as I scroll through this menu for the left side of the screen, there it is over on the right-hand side, but I couldn't get it on my left-hand side. So what I had to do is you have to go to the left again. Notice there's a little arrow to the left of that 3-bar menu thing. You have to go to the left again to be able to pull up certain things. Now that makes sense, so you're not flipping through too many things, but like it's really convoluted to figure that out. Now that I got that settled, let's go and put fuel economy on one side. There we go. But I don't believe I can like zero that out. I have to go to the main screen, go to trip information, history. Previous drivers were getting 16.8 miles per gallon. I'll clear that. But I made sure that the trip or the fuel economy was indicative of the trip. All right, so let's go ahead and buckle up and start driving the TRDPRO Taco for 2024, brand new. We got like a 2-inch lift in the front, 33-inch tires. We got 11.5-inch ground clearance. We got all this new tech. Oh, and I need to put, I think I need to put my phone back in Android Auto mode, right? Check out my MagTame cables, super reliable, fast charging, and they are magnetic and stowable. All right, so today we're gonna try to beat the 23 miles per gallon that we have here. I am gonna be driving this for the next, I don't know, minimum 2 hours. So we'll see how many miles we can put on here in the next 2.5 hours. It's going to be a good portion of city, also with a good portion of highway speeds. So we're just going to take Tamiami Trail up north as far as I dared to go on Tamiami Trail, and then we'll cut east and then head back south on the Interstate 75, I-75, so we can get some, highway driving impressions, as well as, getting a well-rounded fuel economy test today. All right. I honestly have no idea what this thing is capable of fuel economy. 23 miles per gallon in a truck. That sounds insane. That sounds really, really high to me, especially in this truck. I don't think this truck is rated at 23 miles per gallon, even though it says it is. With these huge tires, like it's probably gonna, I'm expecting like 18, 19 miles per gallon with this, all the fancy bits and bobs, the Fox suspension on here, the hybrid, of course. I'm doing this because I'm interested in how fuel efficient the hybrid is on this Tacoma. Now, sitting at the stop sign here, I have, air conditioning on, my ventilated seat is on, and the engine has turned off. So very few trucks are going to be able to turn off their engines in a peaceful manner here. The Tundra and Sequoia turn off their engines too, but they have such fake pumped in cabin noise from the speakers to emulate engine sounds that it's a very non-peaceful experience. And Toyota, like in this truck, I can tell they tried to do a similar thing. It's very trucky, an attempt. So when the engine's on, it's like kind of rumbling in here, even though it's a small 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder. But it's not rumbly because it's rumbly because they want to port in that sound to make it feel more macho. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that's how it is on the Tundra and the Sequoia, and this is on the same platform, same sort of philosophy behind their truckiness. So you can get this hybrid powertrain without spending $65,869. This is pretty much fully loaded and fully kitted out, the TRDPRO here. But I've driven the Limited, which is also going to be in the $50,000 range. I've driven the Trail Hunter. Those those all come with the hybrids, or at least I'm trying to remember if the Limited is hybrid only or not. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can get this hybrid in the TRD off-road, and that's the way most people would probably be getting their off-roady Tacoma. It's going to be a lot more affordable than this desert running TRD Pro. One thing I really enjoy about this powertrain is just how torquey it is. Of course, it's force induced, so turbocharged engines have lots of torque, but you also have that 48 horsepower electric motor in here to assist, and 326 horsepower, if I remember correctly, made it to an 8-speed automatic. All right, the fact that this has an 8-speed alone is going to make it more efficient in theory than the old Tacomas with the V6 or even the 4-cylinder, even though this has ton more power, ton more torque. Electrified plus the gearing is going to make it more efficient in theory. Again, this truck fully loaded with the big tires, the lift. I don't think, I'll see you guys in the comments, and you guys can edit your comment afterwards, but maybe put in the comments down below what you think my fuel economy is going to be today. Right now I'm just going about 55 miles an hour, as you can see. I like having, this is a nice thing because my camera here takes up my view of my information cluster there. So the head-up display allows me to just kind of see a little bit better what's going on. The engine just kicked on there once I got into the gas pedal, and I was in auto brake hold, which allows me to just take my foot off of the brake pedal when I'm at a stop. It's very peaceful. The engine doesn't turn on right. And the engine turns on, and there's no like delay in power. It's very, very seamless and predictable and refined, I would say. This powertrain is refined, but it would have been nice, since it is a hybrid, to see how much regen braking I have when I'm coming to a stop. And by the way, when I came to that stop back there, the engine turned off around 30 miles an hour, and I was just using regen braking, I'm assuming, because it doesn't tell me how much I'm regen braking, but the little needle here on the tachometer will disappear when the engine is off. All right, so it can do that when you're going downhill, which I don't really have downhills in here in Florida. It can do that when you're at a stop, of course, or coasting to a stop. The engine turns off, tachometer disappears. If you're listening, you can notice that the engine's not on. But let's go and do, I know this is going to kill fuel economy, but I'm curious. I'm just going to do pedal down a little bit. That's about 3/4 pedal. Not the most responsive transmission, but it's a truck. What do I expect? And the fact that this has auto brake hold is amazing. I was in the Colorado ZR2 Bison, and that thing, it just doesn't feel very up to date, even though everything's in the touchscreens in that truck. This is much more natural to me. Once I figured out how to get the trip meter on the MID, it's very natural in here, very comfortable, very, I don't know, ergonomic, straightforward. I'm not scratching my head or pulling out my hair on what to do or how to do things. The climate control in here is fantastic. Comfort's in here. I know I've only been in here about 20 minutes, as you guys can see, but yeah, even this TRD Pro with these isodynamic seats, which are just, you know, space eaters for the back seat of this vehicle. Unless you're off-roading, then they're it's like wizardry. Watch my off-roading of this. But anyways, they are comfortable. The bottom cushion is a little bit small for me, short and tight, but these seats are kind of like, they kind of remind me of like Lexus F Sport seats on the bottom. And then the upper cushioning is very forgiving, very wide compared to other Toyota and Lexus model. Or I would say it's similar to other Toyota models with its wide feeling upper seat, but it has a very constraining lower seat. So yeah, I'm comfortable up top and squished at the bottom. It's weird feeling. All right, so unlike other Toyota hybrids, we don't have a lot to give us feedback on what the hybrid system is doing. This max gauge for this hybrid or iForce Max is all the information that they will give us. All right, so what does it do? Well, in the tiniest little screen here, it tells us the state of charge of the battery. So it likes to be around 4 out of the 7 bars. It looks like there's, no, wait, 5 out of the 7 bars. Again, it's so small, like I'm having to strain my eyes to see it. So I think 5 out of the 8 bars it likes to be at, which is very much like Toyota hybrids. They like to be about 50 to 60% full. What do we have here? There's some Lotus. I don't know what that yellow thing was. Some cool stuff. Anyways, it doesn't tell me how the engine is charging the battery. It doesn't tell me too much how the electric motor is assisting. Now, most of the time the max gauge is just completely dull and empty like you see right now, all right? But if I put my foot down, then it says like, oh, we're giving you maximum electric assist, all right? But most of the time, it's pretty much empty. And the battery, the state of the charge of the battery stays around there as well under steady state driving. If you're doing stop and go driving, with the AC running, that battery will run down more than likely. I haven't tested it, but knowing Toyota hybrids, it will run down. And the engine will kick up even if you're at a stop to keep the battery happy, to help out with keeping the AC going, the electronics going, that sort of thing. So that was very interesting. Coming up onto a red light going about 60 miles an hour, the engine shut off. That's a very high speed at which the engine can turn off in this hybrid. It was around 60 miles an hour. I hit the brakes and immediately turned off to help with the regen setting. And again, since Toyota doesn't give us like a hybrid monitor in here, it doesn't show me like regen braking, like how much regen I'm putting back in or anything like that, like it does in, let's say, the Camry hybrid that I just reviewed, the new Camry hybrid. So make sure to check out my fuel economy test on the Camry hybrid. And I also have base Corolla coming to you guys, base Corolla hybrid. And that, I'm very excited to test the fuel economy of the base Corolla hybrid. So stay tuned for that video and those video impressions as well. Yeah, the JBL sound system, listening to some fitty here. Once a bass starts coming through, it rattles the heck out of these door panels. The funny thing is, if I smash my knee and fist and hold that pressure onto the door panel, all of the rattles go away. So yes, not very luxurious in that regard, but hey, at least you have a pop-out JBL speaker that you can take with you on the road that won't rattle. But yeah, just keep in mind, if you like heavy-based music, you're going to have some rattling door panels in the Tacoma. Luckily, you can turn down the bass so it doesn't sound so vibey in here. Unfortunately, the volume in here is actually pretty disappointing. The base Camry LE that I was in a couple weeks ago, not only did it sound better, it was louder than this JBL system. I think the JBL system here, its calling card is the removable Bluetooth speaker, but hey, like, you can save a lot of money and just buy your own Bluetooth speaker if that's a thing for you. We are heading into an area I've never been in Florida before, so I'm taking you guys with me. So we are in, well, it's called Buccaneer Island, but this is just a middle island that is very interesting. It's on our way to Pine Island. Florida has just so many little islands, little beach areas, little fishing areas that it's a bit overwhelming and it's impossible to see or do it all. But this one is about, as you can see, about an hour and 10 minutes from my neighborhood, essentially. So what a cute, interesting, tiny beach-ish area. It's very, very cool. So also what I've noticed is that since I've been going 25 to 35 miles an hour on this, slow traffic road, it's actually been driving more than I would expect an electric. The second you need any sort of acceleration, the engine will fire on, but on this flat, slow speed ground, it will be in full electric. But as you see, when I accelerate here, okay, all electric, and at 5 miles an hour, the gasoline engine turned on. So any sort of meaningful acceleration, the engine turns on lightning fast. Lots of construction. I mean, this area looks like it was ravaged pretty good from Hurricane Ian, would be my guess, a few years back. I'm sure it's still recovering. Ooh, that little Honda Rebel was on sale. Should buy it, throw it in the back of the Tacoma here. And it looks like we have a small hurricane possibly happening on the island. Made it to the northern tip of Pine Island here. They call this area Bokeelia. And there you go. There's some nice water views for you guys. Ooh, maybe I should, oh, no, it says protected, keep out. I was going to take some pictures right there with the TRD Pro. It looks really, really pretty. But this is a very nice area right here. So we're just going to go down to the very end and flip a U-ey and head back into civilization. Captain Khan's Fish House. Turning radius here is not great, but it's good enough to get the job done in this situation. Time to do some interstate driving and the TRD Pro Tacoma. Can't really do crazy on-ramp speeds here, obviously, because the traffic is just really, it's not super backed up, but it's backed up enough to where I'm just like barely touching the gas pedal, and we're gonna be merging onto the interstate going about 50 instead of 70. You guys know how frustrating that is, but I got no one in my side mirror, so pedal down. There we go. There we go. That's what we're talking about. So let's talk about how this feels on the highway. So I'm just gonna keep it at about 75 miles an hour. Wind noise isn't terrible. And actually, even with these huge 33-inch tires, road noise isn't terrible either. It's very average volume in here for the highway test. I do have radar cruise control. I have lane centering technology, which, there it is. Now it's on. I didn't have it on. The head-up display let me know that the Cadillac just went in front of us and then proceeded to slow down when they did that. So we're just gonna get around them, and that's gonna kill fuel economy. But I've been in this truck, as you guys can see, for over 2 hours. I'm ready to get out of it. And anything under 75 miles an hour is just not acceptable, even though there's a state trooper right in front of me. We're just gonna, so that's the cool thing about any cruise control, right? Or at least modern cruise control. You can hammer the gas without touching the cruise control and then get off the gas, and then it will resume immediately where you were before you hit the gas. So we're back at 75 miles an hour. And the best I've seen on the trip here was about 25 miles a gallon. Again, once we fill up, we'll have an accurate reading. But for a road trip vehicle, I feel very stable at speed. Good command of the road. Obviously, I'm sitting super high in this TRD Pro. Comfort, you know, I talked about at the beginning of the video. Yeah, I still wish I had a longer cushion and a more wide cushion. But honestly, I'm still pretty comfortable in this TRD Pro after 2+ hours of just sitting here. This truck acts like the rain's not here. Other than hearing it, the rain, I feel like it's, everyone else seems to have to slow down, and I gotta exit here, so I gotta slow down anyways, but it's saying just plows through rain like it's not there, which is great. So, I mean, it's a truck, you would expect it to. I haven't talked about the brakes a whole lot, which we're gonna have to use. The initial grab is quite good. I wouldn't call it like a bite or anything, but the initial grab is quite good. But if you need to keep plowing your foot into it for like an abrupt stop, you can tell that this has the extra rotational situation going on with the big tires, all right? So it does require more braking than a normal Tacoma, absolutely, I would say, with the rotational mass of these wheels and tires, but you don't really notice it unless you really have to come to a stop quickly. Then you start feeling that, hey, we got something working against us here that you're not going to feel in a different truck. Anyways, let's get to that gas station. All right, so we went 108 miles today. Again, about 2.5 hours worth of driving. We put in just regular fuel. I believe that this is fine on just regular, but we put in 4.566 gallons, which gets us 23.65. So, I mean, 23.5 to 24 miles per gallon, which is what it's rated at, or really within a margin of error. So what do I think about it? Well, I think what I showed you guys today is absolute best case scenario. Most of the driving I was doing, obviously not pulling anything, had nothing loaded up, no people other than just myself. I was driving a lot around 50 miles an hour, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it wasn't all highway driving. Some of it was interstate driving, which is faster than I would call highway driving. So that was more like 75 miles an hour. I did about 20 miles of that, maybe a little bit more. So there you have it, 23 point whatever miles per gallon, 0.65. So you could round it up to 24 miles per gallon if you wanted to. And it's actually a lot more than I was expecting. I know it's rated at this, but in my small brain, it's hard for me to believe that this truck with this lift and tires could get the advertised fuel economy. But like I said, it's best case scenario. Honestly, it's flat here in Florida. I was doing long stretches of mild driving, low climate control needs, so just 1 bar of AC, and there you have it. The TRDPRO Tacoma, if you drive it pretty reasonably with not using it as a work truck or an off-road truck, yes, you could see 23 miles per gallon. All right, so there you have it. That concludes our test today. Just know that if you guys were driving this and you have lots of hills or mountains or altitude or in the winter, all that stuff is going to bring down your fuel economy. So the fact that at best case scenario here it's getting 23 miles a gallon, to me that says most people are going to be seeing a lot less than that. All right, because like I said, I had favorable conditions today. It wasn't too hot, no mountains, sea level, no hills even, no pulling. I'm not pulling anything, not loading up people or gear or anything. So yes, TRDPRO Tacoma can get its rated fuel economy in perfect conditions. There you have it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more fuel economy tests. Like I said, today I'm gonna swap this out and I'm gonna get a Corolla Hybrid LE base to drive to test out the fuel economy for you guys today. I'm very, very excited for that. So stay tuned for my fuel economy test on that guy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.